Do I have to?
Yeah. Oh, there's Katie. All right. Hey everybody, my name is Riley Woods, and I'm here today to talk to you about why reading a book is better than watching a movie based on a book. And did you know that on average, a 14-year-old has spent 1.25 years of their life watching television? It's a long time. That averages out to about 2 hours and 15 minutes a day. And that's a lot, yeah. And in comparison, individuals ages 15 to 19 spend an average of 7 minutes per weekend day reading. So that's a wide margin right there. It kind of surprised me. According to research, reading is a much more constructive activity than watching television or movies, and I will support that later on. I will present to you today personal experience on why reading a book is better than watching a movie based on the book, as well as professional research, as I said. So to begin, I will share some of my own opinions on the matter. I think one of the most obvious reasons that reading a book is better is that only a fraction of the story that the author meant to be told can be told through a DVD. You know, most movies are only, at the most 2.5 hours if it's a long movie, and it would take you like, a week or a couple weeks to read a book. So that allows for a lot more details to be included. You get a lot more like intricacies in the plot, and everything ties together better. It allows you to like construct your own ideas and like picture what's going on rather than having it played out for you, and it allows the characters to develop more, so you get to connect with them and establish a deeper relationship with them and get to understand them better. Also, the author wrote the book, so obviously what's in the book is more of what the author wanted you to know and to experience, rather than the movie, which is more of a interpretation of a book, which doesn't mean that it's exactly how the author wanted it to be portrayed. And as an example, I have for you Lord of the Rings, which we've probably all seen. It's really long, really good. And on it, it says that it is based on a novel by Tolkien. And I found that interesting because it says based on a novel. It's not actually the novel. So obviously it's not going to be the same experience as reading the actual book itself. So not only are details left out, but reading a book actually forces the brain to be more focused than when watching a movie. According to a website called TV Smarter, which does research on TV, how it affects like development and influences learning and whatnot, television actually is worse for you than reading a book, as you can probably guess. But this is because it causes something called an orienting response, which is where when they do different scene cuts and whatnot, it causes your brain to refocus every time it changes scenes and does different angles and stuff. And this response is actually something that if you're out in the wild or something, you're in a forest and you hear like a bear growl or something, that's your body has an orienting response which forces the brain to become alert to like an imminent threat or something like that. So when this happens, your brain is focused, is alert, but not focused, if that makes sense. And in a test done by TV Smarter to prove this, children were split up into two groups. Some of them watched SpongeBob, and some of them watched a public educational show, and then they did different activities after watching these shows, and the ones that watched the public education show performed better on the activities, such as coloring the lines and stuff like that. This was found to be because of the orienting response, because in SpongeBob, scenes are changed every 11 seconds on average, as compared to 34 seconds on average in the educational show. So that was their way of testing the theory that the orienting response slows learning and whatnot. Reading doesn't have, visual screen shifts, different angles and stuff, and it doesn't activate the orienting response, so it helps the brain focus more, stay focused, and actually retain and learn from what they're taking in. So if television is bad, what makes reading good? Research has supported the theory that children who read are more successful in school. We've all heard that from our parents and our teachers, read, read, read. It's told to us throughout from, when we're little kids all the way up to high school and even in college. In an article by BBC News, it was found that children who actively read achieve higher scores on literacy tests than the international average, regardless of their background. And that's actually kind of interesting because a lot of times, as unfortunate it is, people who are raised in a poor situation, stuff like that, score lower on these tests. And this research found that those who read, even if they were raised in those social situations, scored higher on literacy tests than those who did not and were raised in a better situation at home. Also, it was found that people who read are more likely to have general knowledge about many things as opposed to those who do not read. This can include things as simple as who some United States senators are, to stuff about cars. Just people who read have a broader general knowledge about a lot of things. This includes their vocabulary. They have a larger vocabulary than those who do not read. And that was done by a research and found in the article, What Reading Does for the Mind. So not only is the story better when you read it rather than watch it, because more things can be included in it, reading is better for you, and I guess in conclusion, reading a book, is just and always better than watching a movie. You get more of the intricacies and what the author meant to convey to you, and it's better for you mentally. And obviously, you're all capable of coming to your own decision about if you're going to read the book or watch the movie. Most of you will probably choose the movie still, but hopefully this opens your mind to some things and you learn some things about reading a book versus watching a movie. And so yeah, hopefully you take the time to actually sit down and read a book.